Hello everyone and welcome to some more F1 My Team, and this one is the Monaco Grand Prix, round number 7 of the season here today. Now if you haven't seen the last episode, go check it out guys, link in the top right. Before we jump into potential spoilers, the French Grand Prix at Paul Ricard, go watch it. But this weekend we have no rain forecast, which is excellent. We also have 2 upgrades on the car, both are minor and they're going to help us out quite a bit, one for the chassis, one for the engine, and you can see for the first time we actually have a bit of a noticeable gap now to Red Bull, Ferrari and Mercedes, who are behind us in the development race. So just starting to pull away a little bit as other teams bring big upgrades over their own further back. We also have 3 more upgrades on the way for the aero and 2 more for the engine, so we're going to look to try and improve and get better and better. Now after practice we finished in P8, Hulkenberg in the top 3, but we was on the medium tyre and the pace looks very encouraging. Both cars in the top 10 in practice is quite rare for us, and it seems to suit our car. Even Hulkenberg is on the pace again this weekend, which, you know, he's been a bit off the pace in the last 2 races, but Nico straight back up there, sharp as the razor blade, ready to go. So yeah, with practice done, we're now going to move to qualifying, and this is essentially, like I always say, the main event of the weekend, because the race is fairly one-dimensional, where you go to the limit and you try to, give it everything, and the magic of Monaco is in qualifying. So the qualifier segment might be a bit longer in today's episode than usual, because I want to focus on it and have you guys enjoy it. So here we are then in Q1, currently at the end of my first banker lap on the soft tyres, getting already pretty damn close to the walls. You can notice in the bottom right we have the orange icon for engine wear. In this case it's my gearbox, which is around 64%, but I'm going to try and get through the weekend with it. Across the line, and our first lap is a 1 minute 10.7. We go P4, and it's not a terrible banker. I then went for 1 cool down lap and a second push, as we had plenty of fuel and battery and tyres for a second lap. And that's kind of going to be the general run plan, for this entire qualifying, to try and save some tyres and basically go for 2 time laps. And you can see we're purple in sector 2, absolutely flying, and this is a much stronger lap. Currently P5 into La Rascasse, making sure we stay nice and tidy through there. I've lost a little bit of time in the final sector, to be fair. We was about 3/10 up, we're now just under 2/10 up. But across the line we go P1 and set the benchmark with a 1 minute 10.605. So job done for us, easily through into Q2. The AI went back out, used up another set of tyres, and we got pushed down to P8, but still the best time, 1 minute 10.2 for us. We're easily in the top 8 and we're comfortably into Q2. Now then, same run plan, another fresh set of soft tyres. We're going to try and go for 2 timed laps, unless I nail the first one and I feel like I'm not really going to improve. Making our way through the final few corners. Let's see, we did a 1 minute 10.605 in Q1 to get through. Let's see what a banker is here. It's a 647, so half a tenth slower, but good enough for P6. The AI also stepping up their pace a little bit in this session. I again went for a cool down lap, and now we're going to start a second push. Now we didn't go for the best start. You saw I had some oversteer out the final corner. I actually dipped down to 3rd gear for turn 1, and that actually really helped. I got excellent drive out of the corner, up the hill, and we're half a tenth up. Into Mastonate, try and stay tight for the second apex to open up Casino. Very important here to really be aggressive and float with barriers. Down into Mirabeau, 2nd gear, nice and tight, using the kind of banking to my advantage. Through the hairpin, easy does it in 1st gear, smoothly done. And now down the hill through Portier, and we're 3/10 up. So this is an excellent lap, and we're now 3.5 tenths up as we find even more time on the exit. Down into the Nouvelle chicane, a break after the 100, down to 3rd, avoid the wall on the left, flick it left and right, short shift on exit to clean up the drive, to back, 1 downshift, turn in, full commitment, purple in sector 2, flat out through the first part of the swimming pool, making sure we stay off the sausage curbs for the second part. Rascasse 2nd gear, stay tight. We have a slight correction because I didn't want to hit my right rear against the barrier, so we lost a little bit of time, and then out the final corner, up to the line, DRS open, and it's P3, 8 thousandths off Verstappen in P1. That is going to be more than enough to move us into Q3. Hulkenberg went back out along with a bunch of other cars, and he ended up being the fastest car in Q2. For us though, top 6, and we're through with just 1 set of tyres. The car feels quick, the pace is good, and I'm feeling pretty optimistic that we can fight for pole in this session. So, for the first time since, I believe, round 2, we're back in Q3. It's been 5 rounds, since we've been able to achieve that, but we're back, and we're back in a big way as we're looking to contend for pole. Our first time lap, let's see then what it's going to be. Hopefully a decent bank. We've done a 0.3 in Q2, and we say 1 minute 10.0. It's not even pole though. Hamilton is currently P1 and into the 1 minute 9, so the AI leveling up the pace yet again. We're going to try and go for a second push though, like before, because we know that second lap is really good for us. So, turn 1, I absolutely nailed it. My best turn 1 of the entire weekend. Nearly a 10th up. Through turns 4 and 5, just trying to keep momentum going through here. And look at that, it's an absolutely insane first sector. 10th and a half up. And we go a purple, which is really rare for me. The AI, sector 1, that is their strongest sector. And we've snatched it. But through the hairpin, I just drift the rear end and lose the advantage. And at this point, I decided to overdrive. So the lap wasn't good enough and I wasn't able to improve. So this is it. 30 seconds to go, all or nothing. Our final set of tyres. Let's enjoy the lap. Turn 1. Do I go to third? No, I don't. I hold it in fourth. Slight correction on the exit, and we're actually down. So not looking ideal so far. Up the hill, Massenet, late second apex. Super close to the wall through Casino as we just avoid contact with the barrier, and we're up by a fraction in sector 1. But compared to before, we know there's like another 10th to find in that sector alone. Checkered flag falls. We keep it nice and tidy through the low hairpin this time. Second gear, quickly up the third, then back down the second, and back up the third again on the exit of Portier. And thus far, we're half 10th up. I know the lap time is in the final sector. It was a bit scruffy. So I've just got to try and get through the Nouveau chicane cleanly, which we do. We lose a little bit of time yet again, driving a bit too safe. But now through to back. Full commitment, carrying the speed into the swimming pool, especially the second one. We float over the curbs beautifully and find 2 tenths into Raskas. Cleanly done yet again. And through the final corner, didn't quite get all the apex, but good enough. A decent exit. It's going to be an improvement. Is it enough?
Okay, good job, mate. Really well done. That was a fantastic drive.
Yes, it is. On pole. For the first time this season, get in, fantastic lap, fantastic result, and that is what I'm talking about. So, as you can see, in the end, 3 cars broke beneath the 1 minute 10s. Hulkenberg matches his PB, but it's only good enough for P8, and that's the kind of evolution, track evolution and AI pace improvement that, happens. Verstappen was the big surprise. He didn't really set a competitive lap time for whatever reason. He finished in P10. And if Perez got second, I'm sure Max would have contended for pole. So not fully certain what happened to Verstappen there. But either way, it feels good to be on pole for the first time this season. The car was sublime. And both cars in the top 8. I was hoping for Nico to be a little bit quicker. But then again, everybody did kind of raise the levels in Q3. So it is what it is. Either way, guys, we've got a good race car. And a win would be also our first win of the season. So far, Leclerc and Verstappen have won every single race. And a win today, looking at, Leclerc being P7 and Verstappen being P10, by the way, the 2 championship favourites, this could potentially be a massive race for us. So let's get into it and let's see if we can secure the bag.
A proper road race, and in the true meaning of the word. That's how Mr. Monaco, the late great Graham Hill, once described this iconic event. The cars we drive have come a long way in the intervening half-century, but we still race on those same public roads beside the Mediterranean. There is no victory more coveted than that of the Monaco Grand Prix. We're on the French Riviera once more this weekend at the 2-mile-long Circuit de Monaco. Cars will climb around 40 metres up the hill, past the casino, and then descend towards the harbour through Sector 2. It's a very short run from pole position to the first of 19 corners, so don't expect to see much overtaking here today. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Martinez lines up on pole position. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Hamilton, Norris, Carlos Sainz and Russell, Leclerc, Hulkenberg, Fernando Alonso and Max Verstappen. Bottas, Ocon, Daniel Ricciardo and Gasly, Tsunoda, Zhou, Kevin Magnussen and Alex Albon, Vettel, Latifi, Stroll and Mick Schumacher. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today.
Now then, as I just said in qualifying, this is going to be a critical race, and this could potentially get our season really on track. As you guys know, the gap to the top of the championship is 39 points. A win today would go quite a long way to help cut that down, so let's hope it all goes well. We are racing with a worn gearbox, that's my main concern. We're looking at, I think, about 70% wear, but we should be okay. Strategy is going to be a one-stop, medium to hard, very simple. The key thing here is getting a good start and getting to turn 1 in P1. That's what we want to have. Hopefully, for me, a nice boring race would be fine. You know, no highlights, nice and bland, 39 laps of just hot lapping. That would be perfect for me. Fuel-wise, I'm going for 1.5 extra. I've learned my lesson. We should be fine with this. I'll be shocked if we somehow don't make it on fuel. Either way, if we're P1, we can just, make our car nice and wide and hold track position. So, yeah, let's get into it. I'm looking forward to it. Predictions down below, but I can't lie, we need a win. This is a very strange feeling for the first time, I think, ever in a competitive race, whether that's career mode or online. I am leading the formation lap. I'm going to be the first car to line up in the grid slot. So, a unique feeling here today in this Monaco Grand Prix as we try to get a last bit of tyre temp. Well, let's see. Should be a fun race. We're going to line up a bit aggressive here to try and cut the gap. And there we go. That is excellent.
Okay, so that's the rest of the grid forming up now. Be patient and watch for those lights.
Might have to skip to the race start here. We've still got a while till all the cars arrive. Anyway, I'm looking forward to it. Leave it a like if you're going to enjoy it. Subscribe for more. And I really hope we can bag a win. This would be massive for us. Let's do this. I'll start, away we go. Excellent start.
Okay, we're monitoring some wear on the internal combustion engine. Be aware that we're going to start to see a loss of power.
Perez having a poor turn 1 and generally a bit of an average start, but we get away excellently, and that is exactly what the doctor ordered. Let's quickly see the gearbox situation. So you can see we're on 68%. To be fair, turbocharger on 63, also not ideal. With a flag behind, and we have a safety car.
I've got some information on Schumacher. Okay, they're out of this race.
Right.
Okay, there have been further incidents on the track, so officials are moving to a full safety car. Full safety car.
Well, job done then. We've survived the race start. We're not going to pit. Realistically, I don't think it's worth pitting. We could probably go to the end on the set of hards, but we've only just started the race, so these tires are still going to be fine. So we'll just get through this safety car phase.
And some information on Leclerc. They're retiring from the race.
Oh my god. So Leclerc has just had a mechanical failure, I'm pretty sure, and his home race jinx continues, and that is huge for the championship. And I can see a Red Bull, by the way, passing through Leclerc in the chicane right now. That's got to be Verstappen. So this race just became even more of a critical one to win. Okay, so the race is about to get underway. We're in charge of the restart. We're going to try and see if we can get a decent one. Trying to get some tyre temp. Alright, let's go. Back underway. Excellent restart, very good. Under no pressure. Back to green flag, and there we go. Let's get to work then.
Green flag.
Let's see if we can try and first off break the DRS from Checo, and then hopefully just manage our race from that point on. So the fastest lap doesn't really last. Perez matching our pace. We're dropping Hamilton though. DRS will be enabled on the next lap. Perez though seems pretty racy. Good lap from us there. Good pace.
DRS has been enabled. DRS is now enabled.
Into the 1 minute 12s, and we still have 40% battery, but we've managed to drop Checo. Hamilton also dropping back, and so was Lando Norris. So the field spreading out quite nicely at this stage. And there we go, Checo isn't within DRS. That's the detection point right there, just before La Rascas. Absolutely insane lap from me here again. Pushing on. Another fastest lap into the 0.8s. After this now we can start to hopefully settle into a more standard pace. But Perez is actually pretty fast, to be fair. Which makes me think Verstappen's probably even quicker, so I'm glad he's not really around. Well, I can't shake Perez off. I'm also out of battery now, so he won't be going anywhere. If anything, he might start getting closer. I'm also trying to limit the amount of gear shifts I do, so I'm going through certain corners a gear higher than I normally would. Because, you know, realistically gearbox wear is a concern, so as you just saw there, I'm going through 6th gear at to back, 5th through the swimming pool. Not really affecting, you know, the drive, as Checo gets himself into DRS range. Oh, bit of a mistake there, just clipping the wall. Luckily we get away with it. But like I said, I'm just trying to manage a few things here, so gearbox wear and also DRS. By the minute we're looking okay. Car feels good. Tyres, crucially though, feel good, so we've got plenty of life in the tyres if we have to push.
Okay, we're looking at some gearbox wear, so try to keep the number of shifts to a minimum, please.
Yeah, I'm already on it, Elvis.
No need to worry about the tyre condition for now. Everything's looking good.
I did just brush the wall there at the back, but no damage. As we lock up a right front. I've managed to drop Checo out of DRS range yet again. So that's good. Officially over 70% now on the gearbox, which, you know, like tyre punctures, is risk territory. We're not even halfway through the race yet. Kind of wish I hadn't committed to this now, but I wasn't expecting this kind of pace heading to the weekend. We've struggled at Monaco historically, you know, in the last couple of games. It hasn't been the hunting ground it once was.
Okay, be careful. We think you're going to start losing some tyre grip anytime now.
There's the current tyre wear. Currently just had a few laps where I've not been using any battery. I've been trying to recharge, which isn't easy here. Getting ready for the pit stop phase. Used a bit of battery and also some lower gears on that lap just to break the gap to Checo and break the DRS as we're approaching the pit window. I think we're going to be in at the end of lap 16. So just starting to push a little bit and use the battery. Okay, 1.9 second gap.
Okay, we want you to hit this lap, so push now, push.
That last lap only half a second off my personal best. Very strong lap. And we're going to hopefully block this lap to cover off Perez. And we should rejoin in a nice bit of clean air. You can see on the mini map there's literally 2 separate packs, I think. Obviously the second pack is being led by a car with damage, that's what I can think of, hence why they're so far behind. Right, let's do this. Another good lap here on the in lap. Gap over 2 seconds now. Perez actually dropping back into Hamilton a little bit as we're now going to box. He does it on pair entry, there we go. And this Perez going to pit. No, he doesn't, he stays out. So this could be Perez's in lap, he's going for the overcut. Hamilton in with us. We need a nice smooth stop now, boys. Hopefully no issues, please. Lovely, 2.3, that is a world-class stop. Just got to try and deal with the cold tyres now.
Up to speed now, let's get some heat into those tyres.
So Perez has a pretty realistic chance here of getting the overcut, especially I'm on cold tyres, but then he'll be on cold tyres, but we're going to have to push in the second half of the lap. Let's try and get the temperature in though, gradually, and not overcommit or make any mistakes, as the car is on ice right now, so let's just take it easy. Okay, tyres are only now just starting to get into the temperature window. Still a bit on the edge though. Hulkenberg pits. As we brush the wall there.
Coming in for his stop now.
Into the casino, or sorry, into the swimming pool more like. Let's see then. Checo is in. Double shift there, that's my upshift paddle, let me down. I had 2 upshifts on that lap, but we're through, still in the lead. Another double shift, my upshift pedal starting to play up.
Okay, we've lost access to one of the gears. We've lost one of the gears due to a fault in the gearbox.
Okay, never mind. It's a car failure. I was going to say, I'm missing 5th gear. Not terrible, it'll be manageable. Perez holding up Hamilton, but we're missing a gear. Haven't had that in a long time. So just having to currently modify my driving style and take into account that we don't have a 5th gear. Now, if it's a smooth race to the end, we're looking good for the win. Perez might catch back up now because I'm missing 5th gear, but we have track position, that's all that matters. So we're just going to try and manage it. A safety car now though, wouldn't be ideal. Even though we'd hold on to the lead, I'd be vulnerable to restart. Right then, new fastest lap. That's going to be my attempt at a point. Back to fuel saving, energy saving, and gearbox saving now. But I wanted to just try and extend my margin, as I felt pretty good in the hard tire, and also extend our margin over Perez to keep him away. I can tell you one thing, fuel is not going to be an issue. We've got more than enough fuel, even without the safety car, it would have been fine. So it probably could have gone about 1-to-1 in terms of ratio, but still, better to be safe than sorry. Still doing our thing though, just pretty much running a gear higher really through every corner, and I'm essentially just minimizing an extra upshift and downshift through most straights and corners. Like here I'm holding it in 6th, and I normally go 7th, I'm down to 4th here when I normally would go 3rd. And then even here up the hill I hold it in 6th because you kind of just max out at the right time. Then through here I'm in 5th. This is a little tip for you guys, again, if you watch me do this, just basically to manage gearbox wear and keep the shifts to a minimum. So now we'll hold 2nd for this entire sequence. Normally I'll pop up to 3rd and down to 1st, but we can make this work. You know, middle of the ground, just go 3rd now. We're going to gradually make our way up, we're not going back down, so we'll hold it in 3rd now, and up to 4th. As you can see, through the gears again. Gearbox has been on 73 for a long time, so this is working. I'm taking the chicane in 4th. Just, you know, trying to make it work with the higher gears and then to back in 6th, and that's kind of a lap really of Monaco using higher gears. Although that time I went to 5th just because I missed my apex a little bit. You can see it's working well. The gearbox is responding, the turbocharger is actually starting to catch up now in terms of wear. But we're keeping a nice 2-second gap to Checo, and I've got pretty much a full charge now available to me. I've been able to save up, so we're ready in case we have any more missing gears in the final 10 laps. Right, this is going to be interesting. We're catching up to that 2nd pack, which is being led by the Alfa Romeo. It has been for the whole race. I think he's got damage, and it's holding everybody up. And we're going to have to start cutting through them. So I'm going to start pushing just to catch up a bit quicker, because I don't want to lose time, and Perez might catch back up in the meantime. Still going to try and use the higher gears, but just going to try and push on here and get through them as fast as possible. Bit of late drama here. Let's see how this goes. Okay, Albon's first on the list. The blue flags are out. Let's see if maybe 2 cars can get out of the way going into the tunnel. You can see this is going to cost us quite a bit of time, so important that we clear them as efficiently as possible and get as much clearance as possible. We've got Albon out of the way, that's 1 down. We'll hopefully pass Zhou out of the Nouvelle chicane. Ideally, anyway. There we go. That's 2 down. Sonoda will be next. That's going to be on the pit straight if all goes according to plan. No DRS for some reason, but anyway, we're through. Sonoda lets us go. Up next, Pierre Gasly. Thank you. And now just Bottas remains. We're through the traffic. And then we can let Checo crack on and see how he does. Bottas moves to the side. Lovely. Right, I'm glad that's over. Pretty efficient. Got it all done in a lap. Here we go then, through the Nouvelle chicane for the final time. Perez on the hunt. I'm just cruising, so he's naturally going to catch. But this has been a super tense race. I've been on eggshells and just, you know, on edge about the engine and the gearbox the whole race. But I think we're going to be okay. We didn't get a pole. We haven't had a win. But they're both going to arrive in Monaco as we dominate and take a massive step in the championship.
Oh, you worked hard for that one. Congratulations. Well done.
It's the one that everybody wants to win, and they've only gone and done it. What a fantastic result here at Monaco. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, staying out of trouble was probably the most important factor here. In a race where half the field weren't classified at the checkered flag, you were able to guarantee a good result by basically keeping the car running. With their pace and a decent strategy as well, I don't think the race was ever really in doubt.
faces on our top three look so incredibly happy as they make their way up to the podium.
Well, I'm very happy about that result, and as you can see, Max Verstappen finished in 8th place. Also, Charles Leclerc, of course, he DNF'd early on, so overall, it's a great day in the office for us. We're going to bag a big bunch of points, as you can see there. Quite a few DNFs, to be fair. 5 cars out. You guys would have seen what happened on lap 1. We didn't catch it. I'm going to go watch it back in the replay now, but yeah, a dominant performance from us, and it could have been a lot more comfortable had we had no issues with gearbox, you know. But it is what it is. We still got the fastest lap as well, which is a sign of how fast we were. Having said that, Perez was more competitive than I thought. But either way, we get the win and we get maximum points. So let's see what that means for the championship. As you can see, up to P2, we overtake Verstappen, and the top 3 now covered by 16 points as Leclerc DNFs in his home race. And for the first time this season, a new race winner other than Charles or Max. Hulkenberg down to 7th as Perez overtakes him. So Hulkenberg just dropping the ball and just dropping off the pace a little bit. In the Constructors, we're still 3rd, but the gap closes. We're 5 behind Red Bull, 24 behind Ferrari. Mercedes still in the mix as they close the gap on Ferrari overall. So the top 4 gets tighter. So a promising weekend, and hopefully more promising weekends around the corner. Let's go into upgrades though and let's see what we can improve. Now we're going to take care of activities first, as we have a boatload, so we'll just go ahead and fill those up. We also have 2,300 R&D points to spend, so let's have a look. On the chassis, we are currently second best on the aero, we're currently second best on the chassis. We're also second best on the power unit. Are we still top of the charts? Yes, we are. Okay, so we'll go for durability actually. I'm going to go for gearbox. We've had gearbox wear, so I want to try and get that down on the new gearbox that we use in the next race. So we'll go ahead and bring that in. Also, the turbo was the first thing that has gone on the engine, so we're going to also improve that a little bit. Sometimes you have to do these upgrades, it's not all just performance. So we'll take these, and hopefully with the 3 performance upgrades we have on the way, things should look pretty decent moving forward. Now we have to make a decision here. Do we grant downtime or maintain focus? If we do that, we're going to lose 750 R&D points, which we don't actually have at the moment, which is interesting. We could be in a negative R&D point situation, or we just decline it. I think I'm happy to do that. Now, good news, the next race is Hungary, which, if Monaco is anything to go by, it should sort of suit our car. Same goes for Zandvoort after that. But before we wrap up, confirmation, every single upgrade has arrived onto the car for the next race. So very excited about that. We'll take a new gearbox and potentially a new power unit. I'll see, because Hungary is less power sensitive, so we'll see. But either way, hopefully the next race is another good one for us and we can make some more progress. Hungary, again, historically like Monaco, hasn't been happy hunting ground for us, so I don't know what to expect. Either way, guys, if you enjoyed today's episode, leave a like and subscribe for the race win and the pole and the fastest lap, Grand Chelem, and we led every lap. Gotta love it. But yeah, as always, a massive shout out and a plug for the members who support the channel. As always, check out the 2 videos on the screen if you haven't seen them already. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one in Hungary. Until then, take care, and let's go back from here.